Allen West is my number one guy I want to see get elected to Congress this election season. He is a superstar in both the political arena and beyond. He is running in the Palm Beach area down in Florida. And if there is one guy that I want to see get elected, it is in Florida's 22nd District. And Allen is back on our Newsmakers line with us. Go to his website, by the way, AllenWest4Congress.com, AllenWestFor Congress.com, AllenWestForCongress.com, former Lieutenant Colonel in the Army, a UT guy, University of Tennessee guy, grew up in Atlanta, and a longtime good friend of the Steve Gill Show. Allen, good to have you back with us.
Hey, thanks so much for Steve for having me back on, and big victory for the Vols this past weekend.
You know, I don't need to look at the polls, by the way, to know you're doing well, because they're running these attack smear ads on you, which tells me you must be doing pretty doggone well when they start attacking you, lying about you, smearing you, and attacking your family.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the things that happened a couple Fridays ago was Klein and the Florida Democrat Party sent out an attack piece mailer to tens of thousands of homes down here, and it had my Social Security number and also my wife's employee identification number in clear, visible sight. So I don't know what they thought the purpose of that malicious, nefarious action was. It wasn't going to intimidate me to drop out. It did cause some emotional stress, but it just made me dig my heels in even more. And last week our poll came out, and we're ahead 48-42. Klein tried to put out a very weak poll that had no background data or backup information, which was requested by local papers. So we know that based upon what they're doing, that they're on the run. They're just despicable and disgusting, and he's a desperate politician who's going to say anything.
When you look at his voting record in Washington, he has been one of the most loyal votes that Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama have had. About 98% of the time he votes with Nancy Pelosi.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. 98% of the time, and he would be 100%. The other 2% was when he wasn't there to vote, and 100% of the time he's been with the union bosses. So Florida's a right to work state. And for him to support things like Card Check, which they have affectionately named the Employee Free Choice Act, shows that he is not concerned about, the growth of businesses down here in South Florida. Our unemployment rate just went up. I mean, in Miami-Dade County, it's at 14.4%. Broward County is at 10.7%, and Palm Beach County is at 12.3%. So we're talking about an average of 13% unemployment in South Florida. The foreclosure rate down here is absolutely bringing Florida down. And, of course, with this real estate tax that was embedded in the health care law, which he voted for twice, it's just going to once again destroy the real estate market down here. And he sits on the House Finance Committee, and he hasn't done anything in the 4 years about controlling Fannie and Freddie, who I don't think anyone will disagree. They're an absolute albatross around the neck of the American mortgage industry.
Now, I haven't looked at the down in the weeds demographics of the 22nd District that, again, is in the Palm Beach area. But I got to believe that, like a lot of that part of Florida, a lot of senior citizens living in that area, Allen, they can't be too happy with the cuts in Medicare, with the new Medicare taxes, with all the other stuff that's coming their way thanks to Ron Klein and Obama.
Yeah, they are not happy about it, as well are the medical professionals, the doctors down here, which know that the health care law came down to trial lawyers versus doctors. And, of course, the trial lawyers won out. The doctors see that, with the cut in services means they cut in the compensation that they'll be getting, and so they're going to have to, cut back on the services they provide. The fact that nothing was said about, liability reform means that the doctors continue to be at the behest of the trial lawyers who will continue to make them practice defensive medicine, which causes the cost to go up. All you have to do is look at Texas and Mississippi and California when they instituted liability reform that drove down the cost of health care. So here's a guy in Ron Klein who the whole reason why he's trying to smear me and attack me, because he can't stand on his record. He voted for TARP, stimulus, cap and trade, health care, you name it. And these are all the things that are causing us to be in the economic situation in which we find ourselves.
I got to believe also that in the 22nd District in Florida and throughout Florida, throughout this country, veterans have to be stepping up for you. I mean, you've got a track record of honor in Iraq, serving our nation in uniform. I got to believe that the vets who've retired in that area, the vets in that area are backing you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as a matter of fact, you bring up a great point. We had a Vets for West rally this past weekend, and we had about 350, 400 folks that showed up for that. So on the ground, we absolutely do have the support of the veterans here because they want one of their own, and we're not concerned about national level organizations or what have you. As a matter of fact, I'm going out this Friday night on a ride with the Fort Lauderdale Police doing their graveyard shift. And even though the PBA is the police union that wants to back Klein, the officers and the sheriff deputies down here know the type of person I am and how I'm willing to put my life on the line and make sure that their lives are protected.
The other issue that you've been willing to speak out on with great force is this war we are facing with Islamic jihadism. I don't know if you've seen this story. The FBI, again, I don't know if these folks have just gone, utterly stupid or what. The FBI takes a Hamas sympathizer, a Hamas-connected terrorist sympathizer on a tour of our National Counterterrorism Unit, of the training center of the FBI at Quantico. This sheik who was an unindicted co-conspirator with one of the biggest terrorist funding operations that was brought to trial. He was an unindicted co-conspirator. They actually sent people to jail for this terrorist connection, and we're taking him on a tour of our counterterrorism facility.
Well, it's very easy to understand because the FBI falls under what department in this Obama administration, Department of Justice. So we know that there are some very serious issues coming out of the Department of Justice with Eric Holder. We know what has happened with that Black Panther case, and we know that we have several whistleblowers that are talking about how they're trying to enact social justice there and political correctness and obviously multiculturalism on steroids. When you look at the national security strategy, Steve, you see that there's no mention about jihadism, Islamic extremism, Muslim or Islamic terrorism. It's all whitewashed. When you read the after-action report from the Fort Hood, terrorist attack, which is what it was, a shooting, the after-action report basically classifies it as workplace violence because it doesn't talk about Major Nadal Hassan's ties to the radical cleric Alawi, who is over in Yemen now, or any other things that he was posting on the website. So,
or the fact that he was standing on a chair shouting Allah Akbar as he's gunning down his fellow soldiers.
You're absolutely right. So, we cannot continue to disregard or continue to turn a blind eye to this enemy because we're just showing weakness.
Colonel Allen West with us. His website, AllenWestForCongress.com, AllenWest for Congress.com. He's running for Congress in the Palm Beach area in Florida, 22nd District. We're going to talk more with him. Barack Obama paying some attention to this particular race. Will Barack Obama campaign for his Democrat opponent? We'll ask him in just a moment. This is The Steve Gill Show.